Hey everyone, Matt here from Herbal House, and in this video we're taking a closer look at the 450 watt Quantum Power, the latest series of this panel. And as you can see, it is quite stunning, and there's a bit of contrast between the last blue series that we had of these panels. But before we get into the specs and features, let's take a look at the packaging. So for most of our clients here, you're going to receive this gorgeous brown box, just the way everyone likes it, nice and safe and well packaged. Inside of that gorgeous brown box, we have the gorgeous blue and black box. So this has got 4 Seasons on it, looks great, lets everyone know you've got a really good product. Now that we've covered the external packaging, let's actually take a look at what's in the box. Okay, so all wrapped up nice and safe within the foam is the Quantum Power 450. So I will mention that the foam actually has these corner pieces to keep the LED centered and of course absorb any impacts during delivery, so you know it's going to get to you safe. But before we completely pull out of the box, let's take a look at what you're actually going to get with this panel. So in here we have the adjustable rope ratchet hangers, so you can adjust the light up and down. Now those rope ratchet hangers are going to connect onto these bracket mounts here, so those are going to clip into the panel. We will cover that later in the video. And within this bag here is a daisy chain cable or communication cable, so you don't need to stress too much about using this. This is when you're going to be connecting your panel to something like a master controller or an AC Infinity control system. So not everyone's going to use that, it's definitely more commercially orientated. Now we have 2 booklets and guides to help you get up and running and more information about your light. So that pretty much covers all the accessories, so let's actually get down to the nitty-gritty and take a closer look at this panel. Taking a closer look at the diodes, well, as much as you can see from over there, is the diodes are Samsung LM301H series. So that's your horticulture focused series diode from Samsung. They are the top of the top when it comes to LED grow lights and diodes, and we're really happy to see them featured on this panel here. So with the Samsung LM301H, we actually have 2 spectrums available, or sorry, color temperatures. So we've got 3000K and 5000K. Now with those combined, we sort of get an average of around 3500 Kelvin overall, but it means we're getting a really comprehensive wavelength or spectrum covering that entire range. Now, last but not least on the diodes is the Osram diodes. So they're just stitched in here and they run around the entire panel, pretty much ensuring that you're going to get really good coverage and saturation with that spectrum alone. So those are focused on your 660 and 730 diodes, and they're going to be ensuring that you're going to get more flowering performance. That's pretty much why they've been added there, to really bump that red figure on the wavelengths. Now if you take a look down here, we've actually got some specifications. 450 watt Quantum Power grow light made in partnership with Herbal House, so you definitely know it's good stuff. We've got 2.8 UMOL per joule for your PPF rating, and of course we've got a total power input of 450 watts at 230/240 volts. So definitely good specs to have and good specs to know, and of course just over here we've got the certifications for the product, so you know it's definitely up to scratch and it's going to meet any international standards. Alrighty, so this is the business end of your LED grow light. We have the Meanwell series drivers here. These are the ELG 240s. Now Meanwell, probably not a familiar name to most people out there, but when it comes to LED drivers, these are as good as it gets. So again, another top quality component being used on this panel. So 2 of those are going to be powering up your LED. Up the front we have the dimmer module. I'll give you a little more information on that shortly. The entire back side of this panel here, beautiful blue pattern, but the idea is this is the heat sink for the LED. So please be aware this does get hot when it is operating. It is where it is rejecting the heat. So it does have a little sticker there saying caution scald, as in it will get hot. So just be aware of that. It's completely normal. We do have another specification sticker there because you can probably read that when the LED is operating. And in the corners here we have the posts where those clip hanger mounts are going to go in there, which I'll cover again shortly. Not forgetting we have the power cable. So keeping in mind these units are completely plug and play. So for a lot of you, you're just going to unravel this power cable and plug that into your timer, and that's going to completely regulate how long your LED is on for. And of course, as standard, a completely waterproof glands and joins with O-ring seals, so you know these panels are up for a bit of harsh environment or a high humidity situation. So to keep things nice and simple is a stepped dimmer just here. So it starts at 15% on the first click, and then it's 20% and then 10% increments from there all the way up to 100%. So I'll just break that down to keep it nice and simple. We generally recommend about 50% for your veg growth and then 100% for your flowering growth. That's our rule of thumb to get most people up and running. Don't get me wrong, feel free to play around with it and find what works best for you and your plants. Now, what you will see is there is an EXT option after 100%. So that references external control. So this goes back to these 2 little ports ports we've got here, input and output, and the cable as mentioned earlier. So what you would do is you would just slip that cable into the input, and then the other end would connect to your master control circuit or control system or whatever you have to manage the lights. Now, so what that would mean is your light is being remotely controlled, and the output port just next to the input would be daisy chaining off to the next LED. So you could hook up as many LEDs as you need to off the one control system. So not many people are going to do that. Again, you'll keep it quite simple. Just use a timer to regulate your light and just set your dimmer where you need it depending on the stage of growth. So a really nice system and really simple with this click to step dimmer. It's actually really nice to use and a nice improvement over other dimmers we have seen. So now that we've covered that, let's actually get this LED set up and show you how it all goes together. Okay, so back to the included equipment, we have these hanging brackets. So they're only going to go one way, so you can't get it too wrong. And what they're going to do is they are just going to hook in through the post at each corner of the LED. So what that's going to do is give you a good position to attach the rope ratchet hanger, which is of course included. And then from there you can string up your LED. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to clip these on, and then I'll show you what it looks like inside of the grow tent. So now that we're just out here in the showroom in one of these Ace Infinity grow tents we've got set up, we're just going to take the other end of the ratchet hanger that we've got here, and we're just going to loop it over the support pole at the top. Now, regardless of what you've got, you can just hook that straight onto a hook, feed it over a loop pole, anything like that. But it's now going to give you a really good point to attach the light and then further adjust it like so. So a really easy way to utilize your LED and make the most of it, because not every situation's ideal having the LED close, further away. You want to be able to adjust them on the go, and these certainly allow an easy way to do that. So as you can see, it's a really easy panel to install and set up, and with the dimmer it does make it extremely versatile no matter what plant you are working with. So we've just set this up in our tent here. This is actually an oversized panel for the tent. I will say that we do recommend them to be very suitable for a 1 meter by 1 meter or even larger for an exceptional flowering result. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have any questions at all, please get in touch with us here at Herbal House. Cheers.